Full and uncut versions available on Patreon. Check in the description below.
Greetings once again, Pokemaniacs. Duuz-Diz-Din back again with more of the Pokemon Adventures manga, and oddly enough, a brand new story arc, which is shocking. After the petrifying conclusion of the Fire Red and Leaf Green story arc, we had managed to overcome Deoxys, only for Red to move past his initial fear, learning that the reason why Deoxys is connected to him, superfluously, but nonetheless there is a connection, and helping that Deoxys to see a reason to go on, more or less. With Yellow using her powers to reveal all of Deoxys' origin, Blue helping Silver to accept that Giovanni of all people is his father, for better or for worse, Green soon to be reunited with her parent, and Red even going so far as to give the last of the original Pokédex and his old one to Yellow. Team Rocket was defeated. Orm is apparently dead. Carr managed to depart for parts unknown, and as Deoxys departed, Surd, in a last-ditch effort, tried to capture him, only for Red and unconscious Yellow, Blue, Green, Silver, and Mewtwo to try to stop her, only for some reason, the Pokeball that she tried to use turning everyone to stone, although Mewtwo seemed to be gone. I'm not sure if he was just maybe not angled correctly or what, but our heroes have been left, as I said before, petrified. And now we move on to the Battle Frontier. I don't know too much of what happens beyond here. I know one thing about Emerald that might seem a little obvious once we get into things, but for the most part, this is where I really start going in pretty blind, aside from information that I know from the anime, and because I really did enjoy the Battle Frontier in the anime. But how does it all connect? There's no way we could just leave the heroes of 3 separate story arcs all turned to stone, could we? I guess we'll find out, shall we? Alright, Pokemon Adventures Emerald Arc, Volume 26. And we have said Emerald on the cover. I know that because of the Pokédex, or the information we knew about Professor Birch and how he had that Trico that ended up falling into the hands of Wally, it was supposed to, as far as I know, to go to Emerald because we saw Emerald's picture. Not to mention we have Scott here, which tells me Battle Frontier, as well as Latios and Latias on the cover as well. Interesting. I'm really curious because Emerald is the last manga-only protagonist that we'll have. I mean, 2 out of 2, but even still. I do find myself wondering, especially since I was so endeared to Wally, will Emerald live up to the legacy of the other Pokédex holders? Or was he better left forgotten? On the silhouettes of all the Frontier brains, just like in the anime opening, that's cool. And it has to connect in some way, right? Oh, Jirachi. Oh, also gotta get my favorite Pokemon list all at the ready. And this will be a pretty short volume too, all things considered, so I might be able to knock this out all in this recording. It's a battle frontier, a Pokemon. Oh, what a way to open up. We open up with none other than Frontier Brain Brandon. I think that's his title. No, well, he is a Frontier Brain, but he's the Pyramid King, Brandon. Brandon, walking through what looks to be a desert. He says, "I've been looking for you," as he confronts Reggie Steel, Regice, and Reggie Rock. He says, "All 3 of you are here, huh?" Yeah, Brandon's a bit of an anomaly, especially considering what taming the Reggies did to Steven. It's chapter 303. Never spritz a naughty Sudowoodo. ¿Por qué? Well, Brandon unleashes 3 Pokeballs saying, yeah, and manages to catch all 3 of the Reggies. How the heck? I think it would be that simple. Then again, they had already been awoken, so... Actually, what happened to the Reggies after they were awoken? Brandon gets on his Pokegear saying, hello, it's me. I got him. These 3 Pokemon used up all their strength during the Kyogre Groudon crisis. They've been wandering around ever since. Ah, that's what it is. Okay, I had to check who was talking. Oh, really? Was the stone plate helpful? Brenda says, oh, the voice on the other line says that. Brenda says, it was, to be honest. I wasn't sure what I was supposed to make of this glued together plate, but I wouldn't have been able to capture them without it. Only a sneaky guy like you could manage to gather all those shattered fragments to recreate the stone plate. Jeez. Yeah, Scott says, I'm just tenacious. No kidding. Gee, I actually do miss Scott. He was a fun and weird enigma from the Battle Frontier. Brandon says, and I could use these three, right? Scott says, yeah, go ahead. Oh, he can literally see Scott flying around in his weird flying saucer thingy and the construction of the Battle Frontier. Scott tells him Annabelle captured Raikou in the Johto region. What? She's planning to use Raikou at her palace too. See ya. And he hangs up. Hey, we've added 6 more facilities since we built the battle tower. My dream of a dazzling battle frontier is almost complete. His Pokegear starts ringing. Says another call. He answers saying, howdy, Scott speaking? Who's this? The voice on the other line says, Professor Oak from Kanto. Samuel Oak. Okay, so maybe this will tie into everyone, the end of the last arc. They discuss something, but we're not privy to what they're saying. Oh, and then 2 months later, wait, when was this even taking place? Okay, 2 months later from what? I guess 2 months later from Brandon capturing the Reggies. We see Latios and Latias flying through the sky. Oh, what the what? They almost converge, and then there's Emerald. He already knows them? They drop him off. Emerald calls out to the two, thanks for the ride, bye. What? Okay, you know what? I'm actually kind of intrigued. How do you already know Latios and Latias? I'm also just kind of left wondering. This is a very similar situation to Ruby already having friggin' Celebi. Is that Todd Snap? Weird place to have him showing up. There's fireworks going off as Todd says, oh, the day has finally come. It's Media Week spotlight on the Battle Frontier. It's the newest Pokemon battle trend, in which challengers must face a variety of games at 7 facilities. The opening ceremony, including an exclusive press interview with the owner, Scott, begins this afternoon at 1 p.m. I've got some time to kill. Guess I'll take a look-see around this place. It's huge. Takes a drink from his water bottle, saying, I hope I run into a challenger so I can get an interview before the battle begins. Ugh, I shouldn't have bought such a large bottle. I can't finish it. It's water, dude. You hold on to it since if you're thirsty later. It would be a shame to just toss it. I'll use it to water this tree. I'm pretty sure that's a Sudowoodo he's watering. Suddenly something falls into a bush behind him. Todd picks it up saying, ooh, this is a frontier pass? It belongs to someone named Emerald. I wonder where it came from. He looks up and sees... Oh, jeez. Someone falling from the sky, almost landing on him as Todd dodges. And there's Emerald in his very interesting outfit, which, it's immediately given away his little secret there. Emerald at... What a goofy looking outfit. It's weirder even seeing it in manga. Emerald says, that's my frontier pass. Thanks for picking it up for me. Emerald goes for it and Todd hands it over saying, no problem. As suddenly Emerald's platforms just fall out of place and he falls forward. Emerald grabs them, trying to put him back, saying, the heels keep coming off. I need a better shoe shop. Todd thinks, looking at Emerald, super high platform shoes? He then says, what a weird getup. But never mind that. I found a challenger to interview. Todd starts taking pictures unwantedly, saying, the name's Emerald, right? I'm here to interview the challengers. May I ask you a few questions? Emerald happily says, sure. Todd says, great. My first question is, what do you like most about Pokemon? Suddenly there's a rustling behind Todd, and as Todd turns, he's put into a friggin' full Nelson by a Sudowoodo. Todd looks back saying, that tree I poured water on, it was a Pokemon? But why is it so angry? Emerald, you gotta help me. And Emerald says, sure. Wait, what? He then rustles in his bag or something, saying, I hope I have some bullets left. What? And that Sudowoodo's yanking on Todd's cheek. Todd says, bullets? What are you talking about? What do you mean bullets? Call your Pokemon out and do battle. Emerald says, can't, cause I don't have any Pokemon with me. He turns to Todd with a large, mischievous gremlin-like grin. Todd says, you don't have any what? And Sudowoodo starts shaking Todd around. Oh my god. What an intro. Todd says, "You don't have a single Pokemon with you?" Emerald says, "That's right. So I can't answer your question. What do you like most about Pokemon?" Todd says, "You must be a Pokemon trainer, right? You've come to the Battle Frontier because you love Pokemon, haven't you? Heck, everyone loves Pokemon." And Emerald pulls up his sleeve saying, "You don't get it, do you?" And it's revealed on a spring-loaded hand he is holding some kind of weird toy pistol thing. And Todd says, "A gun?" Emerald says, "I don't like Pokemon. I like Pokemon battles." Oh God. And he just starts opening fire. Oh my God. Okay, I need to see if was this censored or did it actually look like an actual gun? Because they say a gun. No, it looks just like that in the uncensored version. So, and that's the end of the chapter. What a wild way of starting the chapter off. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. Okay, I really don't know anything about this kid. Okay, good to know. All right, and now chapter 304, Swanky Showdown with Swalot. As Emerald brandishes his weird gun-like thing, he says, "I don't like Pokemon. I like Pokemon battles." And he opens fire on Todd and the Sudowoodo. Todd and Sudowoodo have a big reaction. And Todd says, "You shot me. I'm done for. Everything's going dark." And Emerald says, "No, I didn't. This isn't a gun. Look down at your feet." And we see that it's some kind of weird catapult toy thingy. Oh, he made an emerald symbol underneath the Sudowoodo's feet. Todd says, "Okay, what's that?" Emerald says, "You asked me for help, so I helped you." Suddenly the Sudowoodo gets really docile and then drops Todd. Todd says, "Emerald shot a weird pattern on the ground and that violent Pokemon instantly calmed down." Emerald starts patting the Sudowoodo saying, Take it easy. Hey, I think this is all your fault. Did you pour water on this Sudowoodo thinking it was a tree or something?" Todd recoils a little bit, and Emerald, "Oh, that's a Pokedex, right?" Shows off his Pokedex saying, "See, Sudowoodo doesn't like water." Sudowoodo, the imitation Pokemon, it mimics a tree to avoid being attacked by enemies, but since its foreleg remains green throughout the year, it is easily identified as a fake in the winter. Emerald tells him, "Just goes to show, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. And just because I'm a kid, that doesn't mean I can't make it through the Battle Frontier." "Oh, I totally forgot about the Battle Frontier," he says, coming to the realization. He puts back on his platform saying, "I have to hurry and get to the registration desk to sign in," as he elevates himself above Todd. He says, "Bye." Todd says, "Yeah, and thanks." And Emerald takes off. Todd then says, "Wait, Emerald, what are you going to do with this Sudowoodo?" Emerald turns back with a smile saying, "Let it go, of course. You're free to return to the wild, Sudowoodo." And Sudowoodo gives a nod, much to Todd's shock. As Sudowoodo takes off, Todd says, "Wow, what was that all about? He doesn't like Pokemon, but he likes Pokemon battles? You managed to calm that Sudowoodo down quickly, though. He appears to know a lot about Pokemon, and he allowed Sudowoodo to return to the wild. He didn't even consider capturing it. Seems he was telling the truth when he said he doesn't have any Pokemon. Emerald is certainly a strange boy." Yeah, no kidding. Especially that get-up. I can't get over it. So yeah, no, it's not much of a secret that he is a short king. So what did he fire? As Todd examines the outline of what Emerald fired into the ground, he examines one of the pellets or whatever, saying, "Those bullets he shot into the ground. I take a good look at them. I see they're just lumps of mud. They've got some sort of strange strings attached to them. These are far too fragile to hurt anyone." As the little pellet disintegrates in the air, he says, "They must be some sort of calming pellet." Suddenly there's an announcement saying, "And now for the opening ceremony of the Battle Frontier." Todd says, "Oh no, I forgot to find subjects to interview." And he takes off. The announcement says, "Members of the press." And Todd says, "And Mr. Scott's press conference is about to start." Oh, what was her name again? Is it? Yeah, Greta. Greta says over the loudspeaker, "Greetings, members of the press. The opening ceremony is about to begin for our battle demonstration. And we are proud to present two frontier brains of the Battle Frontier, Lucy and Spencer." Pike Queen Lucy. Yes. Yes, please. In this house we stand a pike queen. Spencer's pretty cool too. Oh, Greta and Scott are on the little flying saucer thingy. Greta says they will fight Pokemon chosen at random by our computer. And the computer launches out 2 Pokemon, an Electrode and Swalot. The press take pictures. It's oh snap, what was his name again? Noland. He's watching with Brandon saying, uh-oh, how will they win? Brandon, who's juggling some Pokeballs, says, why are you so worried? Noland on his laptop says, well, Lucy's Pokemon is a Seviper, and Spencer's Pokemon is a Crobat. They're both poison-type Pokemon. The Electro might be easy to defeat, but you can't hurt a Swalot with poison. Type advantages. We can't afford to put on a lousy show in front of the press. Annabelle approaches with Raikou of all things, saying, relax, Noland. Have faith in Spencer's spirit and Lucy's luck. Brandon gives a salute saying, hey, Annabelle. But at first Noland doesn't really respond, but he turns away saying, very well. If you say so, Annabelle. All right, I'll keep my doubts to myself. Dang, she feels like he's offended by all that. Annabelle turns to Brandon saying, by the way, where's Tucker gone? Brandon, still juggling those 3 Pokeballs, says, I haven't seen him around. He's probably putting on makeup or something. Greta then shouts, and now let the battle begin. Spencer says, let's start with the easier foe, shall we? Lucy says yeah. She tells her Seviper to use Poison Tail, while Spencer tells his Crobat to use Poison Fang, all upon Electrode, downing it immediately. Nolan says they decide to begin by finishing off the Pokemon they could defeat the most easily. Brandon smiles saying, that's right. Poison Fang deals a lot of damage to a Pokemon when it strikes, and the damage from the poison gradually increases over time. Electrode is done for. Greta then announces Swalot moved in front of Electrode to protect it, and it used Yawn. Yawn hits Seviper, who immediately starts to get drowsy. Greta calls out, Pike Queen Lucy Seviper has fallen asleep. Swalot has taken this opportunity to look out. Ooh. Swalot unleashes a mighty blast against Seviper as Greta calls out, aye! Hyper Beam, has the Seviper been defeated? But Lucy chuckled. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. Oof. Oh, my. She licks her fingertips, saying, sometimes you need luck to win a Pokemon battle. And much to Swalot's shock, Greta calls out, what the? Swalot didn't really attack Seviper after all. Lucy, with a smile, says, nope, my Seviper's ability is Shed Skin. It woke up already. The ground beneath Swalot begins to crack as Seviper's tail erupts from underneath, hitting Swalot. Ooh, and Swalot is instantly downed. Greta calls out, a decisive blow with Dig, a super effective move against Swalot. Frontier Brains Lucy and Spencer have won their battle. Lucy waves to the oohing crowd, saying, did I overdo it? Spencer smiles, saying, not at all. It's against the spirit of the battle frontier to take pity on your opponent and fight a lukewarm battle. Meanwhile, cut to Emerald, searching some corridor, looking around. He scratches his head, saying, where am I? Oh, Tucker comes racing by on his, gotta put it in here, Salamence. Oh, I also forgot to put in Seviper because Lucy was using it. And I think that's about all I've seen so far of Pokemon I love. Tucker comes racing by as Emerald is looking around saying, I need to register at the front desk, but I can't find it. Is it this way? That way? Or this way? Huh? We see Tucker flying by, fixing his hair, and Emerald says, hey you! He grabs a hold of Salamence's tail, saying, which way do I go to get to the registration desk? Tucker is shocked, saying, huh? Who are you? This corridor is off limits to outsiders. How'd you get in here? As Emerald lands on the back of Salamence, he says, oh, you must be one of the staff. Perfect. Give me a lift to the front desk, will you? And Tucker gets mad, saying, are you kidding? Get off. Emerald insists, give me a ride. Tucker says, get off. And it just goes on like that for miles. Meanwhile, cut to Scott, saying, did you enjoy the thrilling battle demonstration? I apologize for keeping you waiting. I'm Scott, the owner of this battle arena. The battle frontier is on the cutting edge of Pokemon battles. It's a Pokemon trainer's dream. a place where they can enjoy 7 different types of battles. And those 7 arenas are the Battle Factory, which tests your knowledge, the Battle Pike, which tests your luck, the Battle Pyramid, which tests your courage, the Battle Tower, which tests your ability. I feel that would be typical, but whatever. The Battle Arena, which tests your guts, the Battle Palace, which tests your spirit, and the Battle Dome, which tests your tactics. Now, allow me to introduce you to the trainers who await challengers at the end of each arena. You've already met 2 of them during the battle demonstration. There are 7 Frontier Brains in all. Nolan, appearing with just his laptop, Lucy with her Seviper, Brandon, still juggling those Reggies, Annabelle with her Raikou, Gerda, hopping in the air behind her Espeon, and Spencer with his Crobat. Though you're missing someone, as Scott is still floating around in his weird hovercraft. He comes down saying, allow me to introduce them to you one at a time. First, he then whispers over to Spencer, where's Tucker? And Spencer just started saying, he's not here yet. In the loudest whisper imaginable, Scott says, this is a very important press conference, that dummy. But the ground, or the hatch below him, opens up with Salamence poking his head out. Scott says, finally! Tucker, you made it. About time. Hurry and get out here. But Scott is suddenly knocked on the head by none other than Emerald. Scott says, ow, Who are you? Emerald says, me? And then he brings out his own personal cheer that reads, I'm Emerald, with confetti and all, saying, my name's Emerald, Pokemon Battle's #1 fan. Emerald. I'm here to challenge the Battle Frontier. Is this the front desk? Are you in charge of registering trainers? Scott gets mad saying, no, we're having a press conference in this hall. And I'm Scott, the owner of the Battle Frontier. And what have you done with Tucker? As we see, Tucker is literally tied up at the moment. Wow, he is a little gremlin. I swear these chapters. I know I'm forgetting something important, but I'm kinda enjoying the gremlin energy. Alright, chapter 305. Interesting interactions involving Illumise. Cut to the battle tower where Seviper has tied up Emerald, as Scott says, incredible. I can't believe you snuck into this place through the entrance for the Frontier Brains. What a rascal. Meanwhile, Brandon comes up the elevator with the tied-up Tucker, saying, phew, I finally found Tucker. As Tucker is untied, he leaps over, saying, you little brat. As all the Frontier Brains gaze down at Emerald, Greta says, now then, what shall we do with you? As Todd sneaks into the arena where everything is going on, he thinks, why am I always getting dragged into things? The opening ceremony got cut short due to the presence of an intruder, and I didn't have time to interview anyone. I'd like to at least find out who the intruder was. But as he peeks over, he sees what's going on and thinks, Emerald? For crying out loud. And Emerald says, look, I came to challenge the Battle Frontier facilities. His extendo hand comes out of the wrapping of Seviper, and he says, and I got me an official Frontier pass. See? So let me fight. Let me challenge the Battle Frontier. But Brandon knocks him on the head, saying, we heard you, loudmouth. Just because you've got a Frontier pass doesn't mean you can do as you like. I guess Brandon took it? Because Emerald says, that's my pass. What do you do that for? Give it back. And his extendo hands go for Brandon, but he's countered as Greta has her Espeon use Quick Attack. I keep saying Espeon, I mean Umbreon. It nails Emerald right in the face. Greta leans in, saying, he certainly is full of surprises. Although Scott is still angry, shouting, I'll say, are you aware that you just ruined the opening ceremony and press conference? Tucker strokes his beard, saying, but he's become a media sensation. This catches Scott's attention, who goes, As the news turns on, as they turn to the news, which I guess was already on, the reporters say, and now for the 6 o'clock news. This just in, the Battle Frontier new Pokemon battle facility was open to the press today. The opening ceremony included a battle demonstration by 2 Frontier Brains, and you have Emerald's entrance saying, I'm Emerald, Pokemon Battle fan Emerald. I'm here to challenge the Battle Frontier. As the reporter says, in a dramatic twist, a young Pokemon trainer participated in the opening ceremony. It got spun into this was all part of what they planned. I can't wait to hear how that boy does at the Battle Frontier. Me too. As Scott is apprehensive, Emerald says, hey, I look great on TV. As many of the frontier brains seem a little apprehensive about the situation, although I do like the fact that Lucy just smiles all through it. Greta says they seem to have made a mistake. Annabelle ponders this, saying, what should we do, Mr. Scott? Manners and protocol are very important for a trainer challenging the battle frontier. I see no reason why we shouldn't revoke his frontier pass to prevent this boor from participating. However, and Brandon finishes saying, he announced his challenge in such a public grand gesture, while Spencer adds, the press will make a fuss if we don't allow him to take part. That's actually a good point. It was kind of taken the worst possible way, because now it'll bring a lot of things into question. It kind of saves you guys' butt, considering that, hey, they think this was all according to plan, but announcing it to the contrary could lead to some complications. But Lucy, still all smile, says, why not let him battle? He seems up for it. Let him challenge the battle frontier. We might as well pretend the whole thing really was a publicity stunt for the opening ceremony, like the press thought. It'll draw a lot of attention to help promote the battle frontier. Spencer says, true. Lucy, again with that smile, says, luckily, the official opening to the public won't be for a week's time, so that's our time limit. That's your time limit. You've got 7 days. Lucy, as she approaches Emerald as Viper releases her, and a great booty shot of Lucy. She says, you shouted out your challenge at the top of your lungs. Now you had better be good enough to defeat all 7 of us. God, all the justice in the world done to Lucy right here. See, Tucker being so angry is kind of taking me off guard, because I'm used to the more flamboyancy. But then again, he did kind of get upstaged. Annabelle looking so fierce is also kind of throwing me off. And even, what was his name again? Nolan, I'm used to him being so friendly in the anime. His constant serious demeanor, it's like Norman all over again. It's just like, whoa, okay. While Emerald is stared down by all the frontier brains, he does sweat a little. As Lucy says, I warn you, we're pretty tough. We'll allow the press to broadcast your battles, and we'll crush you in front of everyone, little boy. There is a bit of an intensity to all of the... Oh man, even Spencer's eye is opening up a little bit, like, yeah, damn, I wasn't ready for that. No, keep it close. Annabelle turns, saying, what do you say, Mr. Scott? And Scott takes a moment, and then that cheerful demeanor returns, saying, great idea. He takes off on his hovercraft, saying, I'll alert the media right away, much to the apprehension of Brandon, Annabelle, and Greta, while Tucker yanks up Emerald, saying, great, in that case, you're up against me, Tucker, first. After all the trouble you've caused today, you need to be taught a lesson. But someone else grabs him, saying, no, I'll deal with him first, Tucker. Oh, it's Nolan. He says, I won't allow him to ridicule the battle frontier and make a fool out of us frontier brains. Besides, I detest ignorance, and he doesn't appear to have a speck of knowledge inside that big head of his. Oh, and then he proceeds to toss him out the window. Oh my God! No, do not toss the small child, Nolan. I mean, and it's several stories up. Oh God. Whoa. Oh man, I wasn't ready for that one. He calls out, I am the factory head. My name is Nolan. Prepare to battle. Oh, sorry. I was reading that completely wrong. Prepare to battle factory head Nolan. While Todd sneaks off, thinking to himself, oh wow. As he gets downstairs, he calls out, hey, Emerald. He thinks as he finds Emerald, he's all right. The Emerald is trembling with anger, but he shouts, that stupid cobbler, these shoes fall apart so easily, as his platforms have yet again fallen off. While Todd thinks to himself as he falls over, that's what's bothering him? He then shouts to Emerald, Emerald, what are you going to do now? The frontier brains are serious. You made fun of them and now they're mad. Emerald dismisses it with a smile, saying, it's okay, don't worry about it. But Todd says, it is not okay. We're talking about the Frontier Brains, the strongest Pokemon trainers here. They're all prepared to fight you with all their might. Emerald just rolls over, lounging, saying, ow. Todd says, will you listen to me? Emerald says, we'll just have to, well, I'd have to face them sooner or later anyway to test my skills at the battle frontier, right? Relax, it'll be fine. He brings out another surprise popper that reads "Good night" with confetti as he rolls back over, saying, you just wait and see. Alright, cut to the battle factory, where members of the press start flooding in. One of them saying, the boy who appeared during the opening ceremony will be facing the Frontier Brains today. Another says, perfect. This will help us learn more about the rules of battle in each of the facilities. What a clever way to present this new battleground. I gotta load that. The first location is the battle factory. I wonder what kind of battles they fight in. Another says, shh, it's time. As Noland is lowered down on a, I don't really even know, some kind of crane. He addresses the press saying, thank you for coming here so early in the morning. My name is Nolan, and I'm in charge of this arena. My trainer class is Factory Head. You may address me as Factory Head Nolan. As Emerald very funnily makes his way inside, Todd is a little shocked to see him. Nolan asks Emerald, single battle or double battle? Emerald says single. Nolan asks, and the level? Emerald says 50. 50. Nolan says, now you may choose your rental Pokemon. Rental Pokemon? Yeah, and even Todd says, rental Pokemon? I don't remember that being a thing in the Battle Frontier anime. Oh, the Battle Frontier here is located in Kanto? I didn't know that. Oh no. It seems the one in the anime was located in Kanto, but the one originally in the games was in Hoenn. Okay. Yeah, that's what threw me off a little bit here. I wonder what made them change it up. I'm trying to see if the rules are the same, but I can't tell. Okay, so the proper Battle Frontier does appear in Journeys, but it doesn't seem like you really see much of what happens there. Yeah, they held the Flute Cup there. Okay. That's kind of a bummer. I thought the Battlefront... Okay. I misunderstood what the Battle Frontier was. All right. That explains a lot. Yeah, because in-game and here, the Battle Frontier is just one big congested place, all in Hoenn, on an island in Hoenn. Okay. But in the anime, it was located all across Kanto. That really does explain a lot about my confusion here. Okay. But nothing about rental Pokemon. Oh, was it rental Pokemon in the game too? Let me know in the comment below. I don't want to keep looking for this. But Nolan says, that's right. You don't use your own Pokemon when you challenge this facility. Oh, it's a specific rule for this facility. Alright, you may choose 3 Pokemon to use in battle. I don't have a fixed team of Pokemon either, so I'll choose 3 rental Pokemon to fight with as well. Okay. Very automated like a factory would be. So we see Jigglypuff, Rhyhorn, Dotrio, Ludicolo, Skarmory, and Hypno. There we go. Yeah, Emerald brings out an access port from his Pokénav saying, I need to check their moves, their attack and defense styles, the items they're holding. Okay, I choose these 3. And he chooses Skarmory, Ludicolo, and Rhyhorn. Nolan then says, let the battle begin. Battle start. Hey, who the heck is that? Holographic person comes out with a Volbeat? Or, no, Illumise, because it's female. Todd asks, what? You're not going to fight him, Nolan? Nolan says, did you really think you'd get to fight me right away? First, I need to determine if the challenger is worthy of me. Right now, he's fighting a virtual trainer created by the computer. My Pokemon will take orders from that virtual trainer during this battle. 7 battles make up one set of this facility. He will face me in the 7th battle of the 6th set. But, of course, the challenge will end the moment he's defeated. And that is a little complicated, but I guess as it goes along, I'll figure it out a bit. So the holographic trainer has, I'm already forgetting what it is. Is it Volbeat or... No, Illumise. Use Flatter on Skarmory. This sends Skarmory into a confusion. Emerald says, shoot, my Pokemon got hit with confusion. I was thinking about using a flying type move to defeat it quickly. Oh well, change of plans. And he switches out Skarmory with Rhydon, or Rhyhorn, and has it use Rock Slide. Oh, geez. Also, I completely forgot that we also had Dusclops in there. No, bada bing. Fortunately, it's been defeated. Somehow that Rhyhorn defeated the Dusclops, the Illumais, and what is that, a Nidoqueen? Yes, Nidoqueen. As Nolan announces, the Pokemon have fainted. All three of them are down. The battle is over. Which is kind of weird that we didn't get to see the rest of that battle. But Todd is shocked, saying, since 7 of these make up one battle set, and Emerald can only fight Nolan at the end of the 6th set, that means you have to win 41 battles in a row before you can even face the Frontier Brain, which, that is way too complicated. I get that it's a challenge, but gosh. Well, Emerald recalls Rhyhorn and says, I'm allowed to heal my Pokemon after each battle, right? He asks Nolan, and Nolan says, of course. And his Pokemon are sent through. As Nolan says, that was a good decision. You would probably have self-destructed thanks to confusion if you'd gotten hung up on defeating a Illumais using Skarmory's flying type move. Todd says, that's right, and what makes it even harder is that you're not allowed to use your own Pokemon. You have to use rental Pokemon you just met for the first time. Nolan gives a smirk, saying, now do you understand how difficult the battleground is? That's why at the Battle Factory, you have to have a deep knowledge of Pokemon, their types, moves, and abilities. Knowledge rules. And the other important feature of the battles here is trading. Oh, Challenger. You have the option to trade your Pokemon. You can let go of one of the Pokemon in your group and trade it for one of the 3 Pokemon you just fought. That is interesting. Cool rules. Emerald calls out, okay, I'll let go of Skarmory, then I want Illumais in exchange. Todd says, you use rental Pokemon to fight and you had better pay attention to your opponent's Pokemon as well, because your opponent might have a Pokemon you want that you can add to your group later by trading. To continue fighting, you need to keep changing up the Pokemon on your team. And that's the Battle Factory. Thank you, Todd. He says that like he's informing someone. I have to assume it's us, the audience. The second battle begins with Nolan? Nolan? What is this? Why is she in a bikini? Nolan? So this is more of an endurance thing, honestly. It's chapter 306. Pincer me. I must be dreaming. I certainly will not. And so the fight goes on. Battle 1, 3rd set. 15 battles in a row, win. Emerald fights a hologram of Kabuki person, trading Pokemon Chinchou for Togetic. Okay. Then he's fighting a holographic girl in a swimsuit and inner tube. 3rd set, 16 battles in a row, win. Trading Pokemon Farfetch for Delcatty. Then he's fighting a, person with a headband. Battle 3, 3rd set, 17 battles in a row, win. Trading Pokemon Slacking for Farfetch. Emerald gives a victory sign saying, phew, that's 17 wins in a row. As he lays out his Pokemon, he says, that makes the next battle the 4th battle of the 3rd set and the 18th battle. Yeah. Todd is flabbergasted, saying, this place is unbelievable. The Battle Factory is really something. Emerald still seems enthusiastic, but he'll be facing factory head Nolan in his 42nd battle, which means he has to win 24 more battles. It takes about 15 minutes per battle. He's already been fighting for 4.5 hours, but he's not even halfway through. The press who came for interviews are starting to get bored. Yeah, exactly. Like that's a lot of time. I mean, it's a bit of an endurance match for the trainer, but still. Okay, it's hard to make out, but it looks like Hitmonlee hits Slacking real hard. Slacking is knocked into Emerald. Emerald says, ow, that was pretty painful attack. He tells Slacking to use Slack off. Let's heal the damage. Once your damage is healed, Feint Attack. And Slacking manages to hit Hitmonlee with the Feint. Emerald says, okay, I'm gonna trade again. I'll let go of Slacking and swap it with the Linoon on my opponent's team. Todd thinks to himself, what? You're going to let go of that powerful Slacking? Don't do it, Emerald. Emerald says, oh, shoot. Todd wipes the sweat from his brow. He says, good, you got the message. Emerald says, excuse me, bathroom break. And he goes to a window and Huh. Emerald says, and a chance to take a regular break. Nice view. As Todd comes around the corner, he says, your battle isn't going that badly. Don't jump. Emerald says, huh? But Todd says, I'm worried about you. You've been fighting for so long, you're starting to make mistakes. Emerald says, mistakes? Todd tells him, that's right. I've been watching a lot of battles in my time. I love that the toilet has, for the men, is a picture of red from the games, mostly fire red and leaf green, and then you have green or leaf for the girls. In the bathroom, Todd says, I'm no expert trainer, but I am a journalist. I observe and analyze. Emerald says, yeah, and? So you think I'm making mistakes in my battles? That I'm choosing the wrong Pokemon, maybe? Todd says, that's right. I can't believe you traded that powerful slacking away. Emerald says, oh, that. You don't understand, do you? Heard that slacking was strong. Plus, it's a normal type Pokemon who doesn't have any weaknesses, but you need to consider the order and roll. Todd questions, order and roll? Emerald uses his extendo hand to flick Todd in the face, saying, that's right, I didn't want slacking up front. The first Pokemon has the role of Vanguard. I want a swift Pokemon for that, so I can attack rapid fire while I've got the chance. The second Pokemon on the team is the lead fighter. For that role, I usually choose a Pokemon who can use a lot of different types of moves, or one who can withstand opponents who use special moves. The third Pokemon is the rear guard. It's a reserve player, so I look for a Pokemon with good defenses. Your team is a lot more stable if you choose a Pokemon for that role who's able to resist physical moves. You can't change the order of the Pokemon in your group, right? So no matter how strong a Pokemon is, I let go if it doesn't fit the role. In other words, balance is the key. Come on, let's go. Oh God. And he uses his extended hands to grab Todd by the nose. Ew. Oh, Todd thinks to himself, he's schooling me just like he did when I was attacked by that Sudowoodo. Emerald seems happy-go-lucky, but he's actually extremely knowledgeable about Pokemon. And as Emerald runs in with his Pokemon, he says, okay, 23 more battles to go. Let's rip through them. We have battle set 3, 5th set, 31 battles in a row. Linoon uses frustration. Battle 4, 32 battles in a row. We have, I don't know why I'm forgetting the Pokemon's name, Gardevoir versus Feel. Battle 5, 33 battles in a row. We have Grovyle versus Snorunt. Battle 6, 34 battles in a row. We have Linoon versus Aggron. On the sides, Todd says he's right. That Linoon is doing very well. I guess hearing this, Nolan says frustration is a normal type move. Linoon is a normal type Pokemon who enhances the power of that move. Also, frustration is a move that deals more damage to lower the friendship bond and the friendship between the Pokemon and the trainer, making it the perfect move to use with a rental Pokemon. See, that's the amount of strategy that I could never use. I'd completely lose it when it comes to that stuff. And take a look at that item that Pokemon is using. Todd says, what is it? Nolan says, Choice Fan. It boosts the power of the Pokemon, but you can only use one move until it's placed back into its Pokeball. This challenger is a lot savvier than I thought, but let's see if he can keep up the pace. For the first time in a while, Nolan is actually smiling. Enter the other Frontier brains as well as Scott. They call out, hey Nolan! Greta says, I bet that kid lost somewhere around the second set. Scott says, I bet he was bawling after being so soundly defeated. But all the Frontier brains are taken aback as they say that it's the 6th set, 4th battle, total 38 wins, much to the astonishment of Brandon, Lucy, anger of Tucker, who is choking Greta, and Scott, who says, what the? He's winning? With only a few more battles to go until he faces Nolan? Nolan then blindfolds himself, saying, I admit I wasn't expecting this, but I'm not worried. I won't watch his battle and trades after this, but I'll still win. How do I know? Take a look at your watch. Todd says, my watch? He wants me to check the time? And as Linoon continues to battle against Aggron, Todd says, oh, I see. Emerald is taking a lot longer than before to beat his current opponent. The opposing Pokemon have items like leftovers or use moves that heal damage. Emerald is starting to tire from fighting all these lengthier battles, but he does end up winning. 41 total wins. Emerald says, that's 41 wins. You're next, aren't you? But on the platform that Nolan is on, a sign comes down saying no risk, no reward. Todd reads it and says, what's that mean? Meanwhile, Emerald says, deal damage in my last Pokemon trade? And he gets ready. Todd looks over at Emerald's lineup saying, who did Emerald choose? As Nolan jumps down from his platform, he removes his blindfold in an epic fashion, ready to face down Emerald. He says, I'll use rental Pokemon just like you. Now you may face me with all the experience you've gained through your previous 41 battles. The announcer says, Battle 7, 6th set, 42nd battle, begin. Nolan and Emerald go in with their Pokemon. I swear to God, every time Emerald releases his Pokemon, he looks like he's about to take a header into the ground. Todd says, their first Pokemon. Nolan is using Mawile, and Emerald is still using the Linoon he traded for quite a while ago. Emerald says, I'll attack first. Go, Linoon. Nolan says, I don't care if you attack first because I want to use this move. Focus Punch. And Mawile goes in with Focus Punch right to Linoon's gut. Todd says, Focus Punch. It's an extremely powerful but risky move. The opponent gets to move first, but if your Pokemon is attacked before it uses the move is canceled out. Now I get it. This means that Nolan is willing to take big risks in order to achieve victory in battle. As Nolan looks on at the weakened Linoon, he says that Linoon looks like it's about to faint, but I can't allow it to use frustration before it faints. I'll use Iron Defense to be double sure. So before Linoon can use frustration, Mawile does Iron Defense. Emerald says, switch out, Pinsir! And he brings out Pinsir. Nolan says, that looks like a very strong Pokemon, but the Mawile on my team has a well-balanced variety of moves. Mawile, Flamethrower. Mawile has a powerful advantage against bug types, but before Mawile can use Flamethrower, his massive mouth closes, much to Nolan's shock. He says, what are you doing? I said Flamethrower, not Iron Defense. It is a choice band. There's the choice band upon Mawile's head. Nolan says, an item that forces a Pokemon to only use one move. Why is Mawile holding that? Could it be? Emerald holds up his Linoon, saying, that's right. I used Trick to switch the items the Pokemon were holding. My Linoon used it right before I switched to it with Pinsir. Then I swapped the choice band with Mawile's Lumberry. Your Mawile can't use any attack moves anymore. Dang, so it was all one big setup. Pinsir goes in and uses a Pinsir move against Mawile, causing it to faint. Emerald says, your Mawile was pretty tough because it used Iron Defense, but I boosted Pinsir's attack with Sword Dance. Nolan pauses for a moment. Nolan pauses and then gives a smile, saying, I like that well-deserved look of triumph on your face. Much better than your arrogant expression at the opening ceremony yesterday. Emerald then starts making faces saying, how about this? While Todd yells, will you take this battle seriously already? Nolan says, good, and sends out Golem, saying, keep amusing me. And as Golem used Rock Slide against Pinsir, which instantly causes it to faint. Tosses a Rock-type move against Pinsir. He knocked Pinsir out by attacking its weakness. Emerald says, Linoon, again, dig! But a very joyful Nolan, see now that's the Nolan I'm used to, says, it's pointless to go on. Your Linoon can barely stand after its fight with Mawile. At this point, it's impossible for me to lose. And after he has Golem use Double Edge, Linoon faints. Todd says, Emerald only has one more Pokemon left. Nolan says, ha, you must have thought you'd won this battle after you called out Pinsir. It was a powerful Pokemon with good moves to be sure, but even a powerful Pokemon like that can be quickly defeated during the course of battle. That's what makes Pokemon battles so exciting. Nolan then brings out the knowledge symbol, which doesn't actually look like the knowledge symbol that I'm used to, but I'm going to roll with it. As he says, an honor bestowed upon those who beat the factory head Nolan at the battle factory in this test of knowledge. This battle is only a demonstration, but I will officially give you this if you manage to defeat me. Now show me what you know. How will you face me with the third Pokemon you traded for at the very end? And Emerald brings out that Pokemon. Oh, Cliffhanger. Yeah, it's weird that the symbol is just a K for knowledge and not the knowledge symbol in the game. Did they not know what it looked like at the time? I wonder. Also, last chapter, I forgot to bring up, there was a censored pee joke about Emerald peeing outside the window, but I didn't feel like going into that one. Just saying. Chapter 307, Got You Where I Want You, Glalie. Oh, Sceptile. The Pokemon he was supposed to receive. Todd says, the last Pokemon Emerald traded is Sceptile. Emerald says, okay, let's do it. Leaf, but Nolan says, not so fast. Golem, rock slide. And as dust is kicked up, Scott says, I can't see a thing. Did Nolan defeat that kid with that attack? Scott says, what happened to Emerald? But then he sees it and sees Sceptile chasing Emerald, saying, what's this? Why is he being attacked by his own Pokemon? Emerald says, hey, calm down. Todd looks around saying, Nolan, where? It's no use. The dust is too thick. He can't see what's going on. Why is Sceptile so enraged? Emerald runs away from Sceptile saying, I've got no choice. And he brings out his little toy gunny thingy, whatever. See, I don't know why it looked like a gun before when it's just a catapult that looks like Emerald. Todd says, that's what he used to calm down Sudowoodo. And Emerald does just that against Sceptile, creates the symbol. There's a shining light that the Frontier Brains can see as well as Scott. And Sceptile instantly calms down as the dust settles. And Nolan says the dust has settled now. And then Sceptile is back in command. He got back to being commanded by Emerald. Todd says that sinister look has disappeared from Sceptile's eyes. But we see Annabelle up on a balcony, seemingly having seen a bit of what happened. But why would Sceptile have attacked him? I mean, this angry Sudowoodo was one thing, but this is a Pokemon rented out. It shouldn't have gone wild like that. Weird. Nolan says, I don't know what you're up to, but you can't defeat the factory head using parlor tricks. Emerald says, I know. And he has Sceptile use Leaf Blade. Dang. Which instantly takes out Golem because, grass attacks. Todd says he did it. Nolan gets visibly angry and sends out Glalie. Todd says, Nolan's third Pokemon is Glalie. Brandon says Glalie is a grass-type Pokemon's greatest enemy. Nice-type Pokemon. While Todd says, yeah! Oh, okay. Glalie then uses Crunch on Sceptile's arm as I have to assume Todd says, and the chill from Glalie is freezing Sceptile's body. Oh, okay. But Sceptile eats some leftovers in order to recover a little bit. Brendan says it used leftovers to heal itself. While Tucker says, but let's see how long that'll last. Todd says, the other Frontier Brains are right. Even an amateur like me can tell that Nolan won't stop at that. Todd then looks through some Battle Frontier information pamphlet he has, saying the move which Nolan's Glalie could use to defeat Emerald is Sheer Cold. It's a powerful move that can knock out its opponent with a single hit. He thinks to himself, what are you going to do now, Emerald? Sceptile manages to break free from Glalie's maw, but Todd says, look out, as Glalie uses Ice Beam, but Sceptile manages to dodge. Todd says, Nolan didn't use Sheer Cold right away. He's attacking with Ice Beam first. Sceptile seems to be using some kind of perception ability. As Nolan says, just as I suspected. You're dodging my attacks using Detect. I'd have failed if I had staked everything on Sheer Cold. But Detect has its weaknesses too. The likelihood of dodging an attack decreases if it's used over and over. This should be about the right time. Looks like you're out of luck today. And then he has Glalie use Sheer Cold on Sceptile. It hits Sceptile, and Sceptile seems to go down. As Todd says, it's over. Nolan smiles, saying the battle is over. But Emerald says, you think so? Nope, this battle isn't over yet. As Sceptile gets up, Nolan's shocked, saying it stood up, but it received a direct hit from that attack. Or did you somehow dodge it? But Nolan then notices his Glalie start to slagger and slump over. Nolan says, what's the matter, Glalie? And then he notices vines on Glalie's body. He says, this is Leech Seed. Emerald says, it finally started to take effect. I planted the seed when it was biting my Sceptile. Your Glalie was slowly losing its strength as well. Okay, now let's finish this. And he has Sceptile use Iron Tail, which, yeah, it's done. Annabelle watches Glalie go down, and she turns to walk away. And with that, Emerald has received his 42nd win. Brandon is a bit aghast, saying, what? Dot says, no way. Greta says, no. Tucker says, impossible. Well, Lucy just whistles. While Todd cheers, he won. Glalie has faded, and Emerald has won. Oh, Nolan without his hat. That's kind of freaky. No, I never want to see Nolan without his hat. No. I don't know why that took me so off guard. I wasn't really ready for that. So you enter into each area, and instead of having the usual trainers you'd have in a gym who you'd face before you get to the regular trainer, I guess you have to face off against various different trainers inside that they represent here with holograms, and it's kind of an endurance test as you go along. Interesting though, because in the anime he had an Articuno, right? Huh. Oh, he befriended the Articuno in the anime. Interesting. I feel like I'd understand this Battle Frontier stuff more if I actually played the game, because it seems to be laid out how it is in the game, too. Interesting. Nolan takes off his hat saying, well done. Emerald goes to take off, saying, phew, that was fun. See you around. But Nolan says, wait. First, let me give you this for winning at the Battle Factory. The knowledge symbol. The gold knowledge symbol. As testimony to the knowledge you've acquired and stored inside you. Emerald says, hey, thanks. Well, the members of the press say, finally it's over. Now we can interview them and call it a day. So Nolan ponders something, saying, I thought I chose a pretty solid group. Where did I go wrong? Maybe I should have had Golem use explosion a lot earlier? Emerald says, nah, I don't know about that. Maybe you should have made better use of your items. While the press says, excuse us, could you grant us an interview now? Well, I love the fact that Emerald and Nolan are actually just talking about it, just like, yeah, where could I have gone better with this? Emerald says, shouldn't you have had at least one Pokemon with leftovers or Shell Bell? While Nolan says, clearly Chisato Berry was meant to be used together with the rest. So Emerald says, oh, I see. And they're like, no, but the moves, items, Pokemon order. All the press say, will you guys cut it out already? We've been waiting for 42 battles, you know? More than 15 hours. 15 hours. Yeah, I'd be pissed off too. Like, goddamn. Later that night, as Emerald is out on the grass outside, he's just slumping it like a homeless person. Todd says, wow, congratulations. Emerald waves him off, saying, gee, thanks. And Todd says, by the way, Emerald, isn't it about time you told me your secret? Emerald says, what secret? Todd shows the pictures of what he did to Sceptile, saying, that Sceptile you used at the end. I feel like I called it Grovyle at some point. The arena was covered in dust, so Nolan and the other Frontier Brains couldn't see it, but I caught you on camera. You did something to that Sceptile to calm it down. Why would a rental Pokemon be so violent to begin with? Actually, yeah, that's what I was wondering too. Why would the rental Pokemon be violent? I mean, that should be the least violent Pokemon out there. Emerald says, sure, I'll tell you everything. He shows off the Sceptile, saying for starters about this guy. Todd freaks out, saying, hey, you can't take those Pokemon with you. But Emerald says, don't worry, it's okay. Todd asks, how so? Emerald says, because I needed to check it out. And Todd says, check what out? Emerald says, you were bragging about how you took that photo, but you weren't paying attention to what was going on before it attacked me, were you? The reason this Sceptile attacked me is because someone in the audience used the move Poison Sting on it. What? A saboteur? Really? Emerald looks at the Sceptile, saying, curiouser and curiouser. He then summons Latios and Latias, because I guess he can just do that. And there they come, down from the moonlight. Emerald holds out the Pokeball with Sceptile. Are they talking to him? Latias says, okay. No, Latios says, okay. Latias says, hold on, Em. Are they actually talking? And Emerald smiles up at them. Over at the battle pike, Greta has called over to Lucy, who's with her Viper drinking wine, which, Lucy. Oof. Greta says, this is bad, Lucy. Tucker and Brandon are in a huff because Nolan was defeated. And as Lucy sips her wine, she says, what's all the fuss about? Fine. Tell them I'll face the boy next. I'll be waiting for you at the battle pike, little boy. Oof. There's something about the way she says that. Look, I feel a little thirsty myself, if you know what I mean. And in the last chapter of this video is chapter 308. As luck would have it, Kirlia, Latios, and Latias descend from on high, as it seems as though Latias says, we're coming, Em. Can you get Sceptile out of the Pokeball? Emerald says, sure. And he brings out Sceptile. Latias says, use the Pokénav to determine Sceptile's level. Emerald says, okay. What is going on here? I mean, look, I've seen situations where Latios and Latias can communicate with humans. Well, actually, not even that. I don't remember them communicating with humans in the anime. Well, at least in the movie that I saw, maybe later down the line. But, what is going on here? And I thought it was a Pokédex, but Emerald is checking his Pokénav. No, I'm pretty sure I saw him with a Pokédex. Huh. While Todd is watching this, he thinks, I've never seen these Pokemon before, and they're talking telepathically to Emerald? I can't hear them, but from the expression on their faces, it certainly looks like they're having a conversation. As Emerald checks in, he says, I did it, Latios. It's level 51. Todd says, level 51? That's impossible. He chose the level 50 course at the Battle Factory. That means all the rental Pokemon should be level 50. There can't be a Pokemon with a different level. Emerald says, but it's true. It's 51. There's no mistake about it. Think about it. Remember when I got attacked with sheer cold? Todd says, yes. Now I see. Sheer cold is an attack that fails if your opponent's level is higher than yours. Sceptile didn't repel or withstand the attack, and it wasn't defeated because its level was higher. Oh, really? Emerald says, bingo! And he brings out his Pokédex, yeah. Saying, see, now do you believe that it's level 51? Todd says, so you chose Sceptile because you knew it was stronger than the others? Emerald shakes his head, nope. Todd says, oh. But Nolan didn't notice its higher level either. Even if Nolan deliberately included a higher level Pokemon in this battle, it wouldn't make sense for him to let Emerald use it, so what does this all add up to? That's what I'm wondering too. Emerald looks over to Sceptile saying, there's only one answer. This Sceptile was never a rental Pokemon to begin with. It wasn't meant to be in the Battle Factory. Nolan had nothing to do with it. Somebody snuck it in. That's why I took it away with me. This isn't the Sceptile that was with Wally, is it? Oh man, I'm so tempted to look this up. But that makes no sense. Why would it be here? I don't understand. That would be the only thing that makes sense. But at the same time it doesn't. I don't get it. Because that could be the only significance this Pokemon would have, unless it's just another Sceptile. Why would someone go out of their way to give Emerald the Pokemon he was supposed to have? Or am I thinking too deeply into it? I don't know. But that could be the only significance of it not being a rental Pokemon that I could think of. But Todd is aghast, saying, it's not a rental Pokemon? Suddenly, Latios and Latias notice something. Latias says, someone's coming this way. Is it Brandon? And as Todd sees the figure move into view, he says, Domace Tucker, Pyramid King Brandon. Oh no, this isn't good. And they find out you took the Sceptile from the Battle Factory. Emerald says, don't worry, look. And as Todd looks over, they've all vanished, or they're being hidden. Todd thinks, what's this? Some sort of mist surrounding those three? I can't see them. Emerald thinks, nice misball, Latias. And Latias winks over at Emerald. As he winks back, I didn't expect these two grown men to be acting this way, but man, I feel bad because I actually kind of like them in the anime. But this don't feel right. As, Tucker and Brandon descend upon Emerald. Tucker grabs Emerald by the shirt, saying, found you at last, you little runt. Emerald says, don't call me a runt. But his platforms snap off, and he says, I fell off again. Tucker shoves Emerald down, saying, see, you are a runt. While Brandon says, stop it, Tucker, don't be so childish. While Emerald thinks, that incompetent cobbler. Meanwhile, Brandon says, Emerald, is it? I'm impressed how well you controlled your Pokemon during your battle against Nolan. Okay. While Emerald says, thanks. Tucker says, but don't think you can get through every facility like that. Brandon says, that's right. Right, don't think that. While Emerald says, what's your point? I'm Sleepy, could you just tell me what you're here for? Tucker and Brandon grow angry. And Tucker says, we're here to ask which one of us you plan to challenge tomorrow. My Battle Dome? While Brandon says, or my Battle Pyramid. Emerald says, I'm going to be challenging all the facilities in the end, so I don't care which one I do next. But I haven't considered challenging either of you yet because I don't like you guys. And he uses a extendo hands to slap their hands together. Oh man, Tucker was one thing, but man, Brandon losing all those cool points he had from the beginning of this when he captured the Reggies is, I don't know how to feel about it. I mean, I get it. The characterization is always going to be a little different, but man, we're doing some of my favorite Frontier Brains kind of dirty here. Because the anime treated the Frontier Brains with, like, the utmost respect, at least from my memory. Unless you didn't really care for Lucy having a crush on Brock. But here, then again, even The manga even had it with what they did with half of the gym leaders of Kanto being a part of Team Rocket, but at least that was kind of interesting and it made them intimidating. The Johto gym leaders kind of undermined to a certain degree, mostly the likes of Faulkner and Whitney. I feel they were done a little dirty. Or wait, those weren't Johto. I feel like Faulkner was done dirty, and I feel like Whitney was done dirty. And then Roxanne to a certain degree, and what they did with Brawly. It's kind of hit or miss some places. Sometimes they're done pretty cool, sometimes not so much. As he manages to stagger Tucker and Brandon, he goes scampering off saying, "See ya!" And they grow angry saying, "Come back here!" Chasing after him. They shout, "He's escaped into the forest. Where'd he go? He's over here." And they manage to grab him by the sleeve saying, "Gotcha, don't move." Emerald says, "Will you stop it?" And he just swings the two grown men around. What? Oh, okay. Suddenly, as he swings them around, his extendo hands wrap them up and they're all tied to something in the dark. Brandon says, "Hey, we're bound to something. We can't move." Tucker says, "Do something." Earl says, "Make up your mind. You just told me not to move." "Oh, well, it's late. Anyway, I'm tired. Guess I'll just sleep here like this." And he falls asleep. Well, Brandon says, "Hey, don't go to sleep. Untie us." Tucker shouts, "Wake up!" And he's fast asleep. As Todd walks through the early morning, he says, "Emerald went off somewhere after that. But where? Hope Tucker and Brandon haven't caught him. Those two Pokemon called Latios and Latias flew back up into the sky. What am I supposed to do with this Sceptile?" And Todd looks over and sees Emerald, Brandon, and Tucker all asleep, tied to the front of the battle pike. Oh my god. Todd goes running over saying, "What's going on?" As Lucy tells her survivor to use Poison Tail to cut them all down. Oh man. As they all hit the ground and get up, Lucy comes out saying, "Talk about pitiful. Tucker, Brandon, if this boy escaped into the battle frontier and came to the battle pike by pure coincidence, then he's pretty lucky, don't you think?" Oof. Mommy. I'm sorry. Oof. Oh man, this oof. I'm just gonna say she's drawn real well. It's all the interest I had in Surd, all in a better package, all things considered. Lucy in short fishnets and high-heeled boots. Yeah, that would be very nice. Sorry, lost myself in the moment there. Lucy kneels over, saying, "What do you say? Would you like to challenge the battle pike and test your luck today?" Emerald smiles, saying, "Sure." And Lucy says, "Allow me to introduce myself again. I'm Lucy, the Pike Queen." Todd brings out his note saying, "Oh my god," and the angle we're at is just Lucy's boobs. Like Todd just right under Lucy's boobs from this angle. He says, he thinks to himself, "The battle pike is a facility that's all about luck. The challenger enters the facility with 3 Pokemon. You must choose one of the doors in the large room to go through. Eventually you'll reach a room at the very end. There are smaller rooms behind those 3 doors, where you'll experience 8 kinds of events such as battles and healing your Pokemon. The kind of event you face is totally up to luck. Random chance, in other words." Oh, interesting. There are 7 large rooms and 7 small rooms. 14 rooms in all make up a set. You're only allowed to face me. Oh, it's Lucy talking. Okay. You're only allowed to face me if you make it to the end of the 10th set. After getting through the 139th room. I mean, I get it to a certain degree. Gotta pad it out a little bit, make it an actual challenge, but my god. No matter how far you get, you'll have to start from scratch again if all your Pokemon are defeated. Just like in Nolan's battle facility. And as they look outside, she says, "Looks like the press have arrived. Tell me when you're ready. I'll accept your challenge anytime." Emerald goes running off saying, "Okay, just hold on a minute. I'll be ready soon." And Todd follows saying, "Hello, Emerald. You mean ready as in you're going to prepare 3 Pokemon. How are you going to accomplish that? The Battle Pike doesn't have rental Pokemon like the Battle Factory. You have to use your own Pokemon." Emerald smiles, saying, "I know." Todd asks, So you're going to use Sceptile and those Pokemon from yesterday, Latios and Latias?" Emerald says, "Nah, I'm thinking about using different Pokemon." Todd is aghast, saying, "Different? But I thought you said you didn't have any Pokemon of your own." Emerald says, "I don't, but the person who sent me to the battle frontier has every Pokemon. and she told me I could use whichever one I want whenever I want. I think Crystal? Because I think I saw Crystal on one of the covers. Oh yeah, it's definitely Crystal. Yeah, I saw her on one of the covers. That's why I'm thinking Crystal. Why am I thinking Crystal? The cover. He was on one of the covers. Todd says, the person who sent you to the battlefront here? And I think they're entering a Pokemon Center. Emerald says, that's right. Well then, PC service start. And he accesses the computer and, yep, sure enough, entered Crystal going over the computer saying, oh, it's Emerald. Okay. Oh god, look at all those Pokemon. I'm sending the 3 Pokemon you asked for right now. And Emerald enters the battle pack saying, I'm ready. Lucy says, you were faster than I thought. Which level are you going to play? Emerald says, level 50. Lucy, in front of 3 entrances, says, okay, now make your first choice. Pick one of these 3 doors and open it. Emerald says, this one. It's a doubles battle, and its 2 holographic trainers appear with a Dusclops and a Curlia. Todd is watching with Lucy, lucky dog, as he says, a double battle against virtual trainers. Curlia gets ready to attack. Todd shouts, look out, Emerald! The attack will inflict a status condition on your Pokemon. That attack will inflict a status condition on your Pokemon. Oh, that's where it ends? Bummer. Okay. Emerald is a very interesting character. There is something very, very interesting about everything about Emerald. It is hanging in the back of my head about red, blue, green, yellow, and silver. But at the same time, I'm very fascinated by Emerald, because once again, a manga-only character who really goes outside of the norm. No Pokemon of his own, on a mission. There's some kind of conspiracy going on here. Is that Sceptile his? I feel like it must be, like if someone wanted him to have it, but why would they think Emerald would take it? Maybe it's just a coincidence? It's interesting to have Todd Snap appearing too as a supporting character as well. I wasn't actually expecting him to play such a major role going on here like he kind of did in the anime, because I remember playing Pokemon Snap. I didn't realize that Todd in the game was the same Todd in the anime for the longest time, and now to have him here too as a kind of companion. That's interesting. I actually like when characters in the media are presented as allies. Emerald's entrance into the battle frontier was interesting. I thought he was invited. I didn't realize he kind of crashed everything. I mean, he was invited, but the way he's going about it. And the challenge, defeat the 7 facilities in 7 days. That's interesting too. It feels like someone loved the time limit that was set for Ruby and Sapphire and wanted to go with that. But Emerald seems to be here for something more, and Crystal is helping him. But what are they helping him for? I have to assume maybe it's to help Red and the others. But how? What could they possibly be looking for? Then again, some of the Frontier Brains have just up and captured these legendary Pokemon and are just using them. I mean, Annabelle has to be using Sceptile to a lesser degree than previously, because we know that using these Pokemon puts a risk to your life unless something has changed. And knowing what I know about Annabelle, because when I was reintroduced to her in Sun and Moon, it took me off guard, because I didn't play the game. I knew her from the anime, and then I saw her in Sun and Moon and was like, wait, what? What? I didn't even recognize her at first. And then I looked down and I'm like, oh, it's that same Annabelle. Because I remember her from her crush on Ash. What's with these Frontier Brains and their crushes? But, there's something deeper going on here. But what? I really don't know. Just have to wait and see, but I'm interested. Now, Steven over on Patreon had told me that there was a bit of contention about Emerald considering what had happened to the Pokedex holders in the previous story arc, but I do have a bit of faith that it ties in the long run, because I've seen online there is some love for Emerald to a certain degree. So if his storyline was completely superfluous, I don't think there would be any love lost for the character. And so many other characters have won me over the course of all these various story arcs. I have a little bit of faith in the writing. They've earned my faith in them this far. You don't get 300 chapters deep and don't at least give the writers a little bit of leeway in how they tell the story, but we'll see. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the ride. Thank you so much for watching, And until next time, I've been Duuz-Diz-Din, and I hope to see you later. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.